All right. Well, great. Thanks for having me again. I'm really excited. Um, I want to just say, first of all, I learned so much from these events. I'm not only a presenter, but I'm also like everyone else out there, someone with his rear end in a seat, paying attention, listening, and trying to learn as much as I can. I always pick up new ideas every time one of these amazing events rolls around. Luckily, it's quite often. So anyway, thanks again for having me. I'm really excited. I always change things up. My take on things is a lot different than a lot of other traders. As you can see, my brand is the backpack trader. That doesn't mean that I just schlep a backpack around, although I kind of started that way, and I'll tell you about that in a little while. But really, the idea of the backpack trader is to remind us why we're trading in the first place. And I know the obvious reason is to make money, but if you think about it, money is just a means to an end, isn't it? What do you really need the money for? I mean, everyone has their reasons, but for me, it's just to give me the best kind of life and the kind of lifestyle that I've always imagined for myself. And so what I want everyone out there to also think of is how important trading is and what being successful at trading can do for you in your life, and make sure you're trading for the right reason. So that's what the backpack trader stands for. Okay, so before I get started, a little house cleaning. Of course, we always have to be mindful of the risks involved with trading. Okay, so we're going to talk about some trades. Everything I'm going to show you is hypothetical, okay, because of regulations and what have you. I can't give you financial advice. So just realize that past performance does not guarantee what's going to happen in the future. And in the end, here's the rule I live by. Never trade with money that you cannot afford to kiss goodbye. Okay, so we're not going to kiss our money goodbye. That's not why we're trading, but we certainly have to be free and willing to, because we could lose our money. All right, so everyone has to know that. I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but it's always important to be reminded of that. All right, so just be responsible as a trader. So I've been doing this for a very long time. I started trading back in 1992. I mean, that's literally 30 years ago. I actually was trading before then, but 92 is when I started taking real trades. And one of my early trades, I followed a pattern, a tried and true pattern. Go figure, it worked. I did really well with it, and I ended up taking my several $1,000s and backpacking through Europe, and that led me on this big adventure that ultimately led me to South America, where within 24 hours, I met my wife, and now we've been married for like 28 years. And I'm gonna tell you about that trade in a moment, but in the midst of that, I thought I knew what I was doing, but then the market decided to humble me a little. And like so many of you, and please raise your hand or type in a yes or whatever if you agree that when you get overconfident, that's usually a sign that maybe you should step away, because otherwise there's a good chance you're going to give your money back. And John's typing in yes, and so is a bunch of other people. And yeah, so here's the thing, let's avoid that, huh? Let's like, we've been there, done that. Let's not let that happen anymore. It's important to remain humble. I was in a webinar not like this, not unlike this. I mean, it was 18 years ago, so it was what webinars were like back in those days. But my butt was in the seat, and I was learning something, and I bought this strategy, and the owners heard me interacting with some people on their forum, and one day I got a call, and they invited me to join them as their first trading coach. And within a month, I started hosting and calling live trades in a trade room. And I still do that. I still call live trades in the trade room 18 years later. And what I've learned from the market and from all that market time, I mean, it's basically distilled down to what my life work has become. I'm now a published author. And actually, before I go much further, let me just say that I'm going to ask you guys a quiz in a little while, and a couple lucky winners are going to get a copy of my book. And would you guys mind if I over deliver a little? I'm traveling now, and I came up with a new idea, and I'm including that with, well, I'll tell you in the end, but I got a special bonus for you, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm going to basically teach you about how to become your own backpack trader. Well, I'll talk about that in a little while, but I'm going to include that at the end. Just remind me. Anyway, so I've created some of the top performing strategies that are available on the market. They've sold thousands of copies in over 100 plus countries, dating back to my first strategy about 12 years ago. Okay, so how about this? I just got back from Buenos Aires. I was in Argentina recently. Before that, I was in Copenhagen. I mean, literally am the backpack trader. I love to travel, have laptop, have internet, can travel, right? I mean, freedom, that's what trading's all about. I love to travel. You guys want to learn the techniques that I like to use when I'm traveling? Is it okay if I teach you that? Because that's kind of what this is about. And also some of the like 7 must-have, I call them trading hacks, but these are things that you absolutely have to have, in my opinion. At least I know I need them to succeed. And I'm going to share that with you today. If you don't take anything else away from this presentation, make sure you write down these 7 trading hacks and include them in your own trading. Whatever strategy you use, these are universal things that you just have to have if you want to put yourself in the most advantageous you can be in. And that's all we could ask for as traders, right? There's a copy of my book. That was like a year ago. It's still a bestseller on Amazon a year later. I mean, go figure. I would have never guessed. I'm going to be giving a couple copies of these away. So pay attention. I'll let you know when the quiz comes. Sound good, guys? All right. So I was just telling you a little bit about myself, a little bit first, the agenda, the 7 trading hacks. I'm going to talk to you about some of the key things that I need to place a trade and how to identify and why they're so important. And then I'm going to show you a bunch of trade examples, and then show you, if you want to get started with me, I've got an amazing offer for you. And it's literally, it's you know, 1 or 2 winning trades pays the whole thing, but we'll get into that in a moment. Whether or not you buy anything from me is not even why I'm here. I'm here because I want to teach you some stuff and show you my techniques on what it takes for me to be able to travel and be the backpack trader. All right. So first of all, I was telling you about this trade that I took where I met my wife. Well, it happened to be the same trade that an infamous trader by the name of George Soros broke the Bank of England with. Is anyone familiar with that? Time in history when the British pound lost about 25% of its value and the whole world was coming undone. Could you imagine if you were watching the news in those days, what it felt like? I remember, I mean, what I want you to do now is think about that, but then think about how things are now today. The world is crazy, right? It's uncertain. It gives you a lot of apprehension and anxiety and all the things that's like happening right now. But guess what? Hasn't there always been craziness in the world? Isn't the world like always crazy? Isn't there something that's makes you anxious and gives you fear and makes you want to do something to give yourself security and protect yourself and your family, et cetera, right? Well, that's what was happening in those days. As you can see, now we have Brexit and now we have all the things. I'm not going to go and list them all, but inflation, the market's moving. Here's the thing, as traders, that's the kind of stuff that makes us money. That's what moves the market. Whether it goes up or down, you make money, right? If you know how to trade. So you're in the right place, you're doing the right thing. Now let's just ring the register. Let's not have to be fearful and apprehensive and insecure about what's going on in the world, right? In those days, I was kind of carefree. I had my own business. I was doing a bunch of stuff. I was going through a dark period in my life, though. I was going through a relationship problem. There were just some things that I haven't really talked much about, personal stuff like we all have, right? But I ended up making this trade. I backpacked through Europe. I'm a drummer. I picked up some bongos. I started sitting in with musicians all over Europe, street musicians, open mic sessions. I met a Venezuelan musician. We used to go into bars and play for free beer in Florence, Italy, all over Italy, actually. Anyway, several months later, I got a fax from him after returning home. Remember faxes? I went to visit him in Caracas, Venezuela, and within 24 hours, I met my wife. And there she is in the upper corner with my happy family. George Soros, he was shorting the pound. He made billions of dollars. I didn't make billions of dollars. I made a wife, family, I also learned something about trading, and it's stuck with me to this very moment. And it's something I want to share with you. And that's this: trading's just too darn important to get wrong. Would you all agree with that? I mean, if you get it right, what it could do for your life versus if you don't get it right, that's a big difference, isn't it? So how about this? Could I get you all to make a commitment to yourself right now? Make a commitment to yourself right this minute and do it in front of all of us by typing it in. Be accountable. Type it in. You ready to change your trading ways and increase your profits? That should be a no-brainer, right? If I don't see like 900 people typing in yes, I'm going to call an ambulance and get you guys checked out. Yeah, okay, good. Some hell yeses, absolutely. Look at them pour in. I don't know if I could share this chat, but everyone's typing it in. But here's the thing. We are all holding each other accountable, but I want you to do it for yourself, because if you can't make the commitment to make your trading count, to do what you need to do to become your own best version of the backpack trader, why are you even here? What's the point? Okay, so good. Everyone's in. You guys are giving me goosebumps. All right. And I feed off your energy, by the way. So that helps me a lot. So you guys don't mind if I show you my techniques, right? It starts out with the 7 trading hacks to rule the market. That's right. To rule the market without getting overconfident and giving your money back. That's an important element. All right. But we're going to learn how to rule the market. And it all starts out with, first of all, trading for the right reason. And look beyond the money, right? It's obvious we're trading to make money. But if you were laying in a bed in a room piled up with a bunch of paper, what would you do with that? I mean, enjoy it? No, it's what you do with the money that matters, right? So focus on your reason for trading. Why is it so important for you? I know why it's important for me. It enables me to live the kind of lifestyle that I've always imagined for myself, that I've always felt I've deserved. And if you guys use that same language, think about it in those terms. Why you're trading: to give yourself the lifestyle you deserve, that you've always imagined. It will change the way you think about everything, and that will change the things that you do. And the things that you do are what matter. It's not what you think, it's what you do. Okay? So let me tell you the first thing you need to do to be consistently successful as a trader. Actually, these are my 7 hacks. Take a screenshot, but I'm going to talk about them each one. And the first one is to prove it to yourself. Prove that your method is going to make you money before you risk your money. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, trading, there's never a guarantee. Some trades lose. In fact, losing trades are part of a winning trade plan. That's just a fact. Trying to win every trade is silly because it's not possible. That's not trading for the right reason, actually. That's trading to try to win every trade, which is impossible. Why do that? No. How about this? How about if you prove to yourself your trade plan will make you money, and then go to the next step. Practice it until it's perfect. All right. So I'm going to talk more about this. The power of the trade plan. I just mentioned it. How about learning how to dance with the market? Knowing when to take control and when to surrender to what you cannot control. That's a biggie, wouldn't you say? How many of you have trouble with that? I would say most of you. Be honest. Type it in, guys. How about this? Lifestyle, the power of lifestyle. I just mentioned it. The lifestyle is a big component to succeeding at trading. And I'll talk more about that, but there's a clue right there. Trade less and make more. Less is more with trading. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it to you. You can hold me accountable. All right. Next, the 2% rule. All right. We'll get into that. Einstein, we all know who he is. And of course, the power of the CEO. And hopefully you guys are scratching your head going, what do I mean by that? I'm going to tell you. All right. So do you know why most traders fail? Why do most traders fail? Because they haven't proven to themselves that their method will succeed. So Whenever somebody joins up with any one of my programs, I always provide them with this amazing tool. It's a pre-programmed spreadsheet. It's called the Ultimate Trade Analyzer, the UTA. And it could do a lot of things for you. But one of the most important things is it teaches you how to live with the good, the bad, the ugly, and the great. And I'm talking about your trading, and there will be some ugly, and that's okay. There's no way to avoid it. But the thing is there's also the great. And if you learn to elevate yourself above the forest, like think of your trades as an individual tree in the forest. Okay, every trade is a tree. But think of your equity curve as the forest. Do you want to be a little grunt running around trying to dodge some falling trees, or do you want to be like an eagle flying above, looking down from above? And you could see that some of your trees are falling. In fact, a third. Are you willing to sacrifice a third of the trees in your forest if it means you can grow your forest 2/3 larger as a result? Your forest will grow larger and larger and larger. You'll give up a few trees, but you're going to grow your forest larger. Lori says, eagle, thank you. Of course. But that's what successful trading is. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. A good strategy might be 3 steps forward, 1 step back. There are many of those. Could even do a little bit better. But even if it's only 2 steps forward, 1 step back, that's like winning 2/3 of your trades. Do you know that that's still legal in this country? I mean, you could legally print money. That's legal. You could do that. If you can win 2 and lose 1 and win 2, as long as you're winning more than you win and you're losing less when you lose, right? We've learned that lesson. So the UTA spreadsheet helps us develop a win-loss column. You log some trades. You have a trade plan. You have rules. We'll talk about the trade plan in a moment, but you're going to learn that there's some winners or some losers. There's a random distribution of wins and losses. With whatever method you use, there's a random distribution of wins and losses. But you'll learn that the great trades come, the winners come pouring in, and usually the best trades follow the worst. And you realize that you make money by the result of all your trades, your forest growing, right? So you have to rise above. If you're just fretting and worried about what this trade will do, if you're emotionally invested into the outcome of this one trade, then that's a big indicator. That's an indicator that's more important than anything you put on your chart. It indicates what your problem is and what you need to work on. Because if you're a trader, don't you also have to take another trade? You always have to take another trade. See the problem? So you can't worry about whether a trade wins or loses. What you need to do is prove to yourself what? Well, this. Prove to yourself that your forest will grow if you just take all the trades in your trade plan, the way the rules say. If you could start here and know that you're going to end up here 10 months later, would you be in? Would you do it? But if you didn't spend the time proving it to yourself first, what do you think you're going to do when this happens? You're probably going to quit, throw the baby out with the bathwater, and then you're going to miss this. It happens next. Now, this is just one curve. Curves all look different. Some are better, some aren't as good. I just want to paint the picture of what I'm getting at, the big picture on why it's so important to prove it to yourself first. It's one of the few things that we can do that's unique to our business, is that we can literally prove it first. It's like being a fighter pilot in a flight simulator, right? He's going to crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn, but he's still living and breathing to tell you about it, right? Because it's just a simulator. Don't you think he should do that in the simulator before he actually gets into a real cockpit and tries to fly a real fighter plane, jet plane, whatever they're called, right? Very important. That's why it's the #1 trading hack. And if you guys trade without doing this first, look in the mirror and ask yourself, why? Why are you doing that? Are you really trading for the right reasons? Let's talk about trade plan. Trade plan is so important because a trade plan gives you the thing that you can test and prove. What you're going to trade, when you're going to trade it, how you're going to trade it, what strategy you're going to use, your exact entry, target, stop, all plan. Plan your trade your plan. What I'm showing you is the end of a trade. Okay, this trade ended. You can see there's the whole trade is printed here. You know where the entry, the targets, the stop. You even know what the reward and the risk is. That's all important information you should know before you even put your money on the line. How many of you are trading without information like this first? I already know the answer. This is what the trade looked like. Imagine this at the right edge of the chart, and you saw a trade, you saw an entry, you saw targets, you saw a stop, you saw rules to follow. This was an actual trade. It was an actual trade as part of a real trade plan. It was the pound Aussie, and it doesn't matter what symbol it is, really. It's price action, buyers, sellers, green bars, red bars, price action, patterns that you can identify where you know that the outcome of that pattern has a high predictable probability of happening, right? Isn't that what a trade is based on? That you kind of are predicting what's going to happen next, and hopefully you're able to identify a pattern that the next thing that happens after that, you could predict with a high degree of accuracy. It won't be 100%, but it'll be enough to give you 2 steps forward, 1 step back, win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 1.5. You know what I mean? It grows your forest. Ralph says, have a plan for every trade, know when to enter, exit, etc. Exactly. And knowing where to exit's the hardest part, isn't it? Everyone can get into a trade. How many of you have more issues getting out, when to get out? Be honest. I mean, move your stop when you're not supposed to, take the profit too soon before it hits your target. Maybe you trade without a stop. Aaron says getting out is the hardest. Capital, hell yes. Oh yes, of course. I'm going to solve all that, guys. We're talking about these things for a reason. All right, I got to go through these hacks. I spent a lot of time with the Prove It because it's so important. I'm going to go through these quickly. Hopefully you wrote them all down because I really want to get to some chart examples. I want to show you what happened today. I want to show you the current stuff. I always show the same stuff, the way I'm using this. I want to make it really crystal clear for you. All right, so dancing with the market is really important. Basically, the strategies I like, and it's one of my 12 powers to successful trading, it's in one of the bonuses I'm going to give you guys, is the power of dynamic trade setups. What does that mean? A dynamic trade setup is a setup that will adjust itself to market conditions. So if there's less volatility, the trade might be smaller. If the volatility is greater, the trade setup might be larger, but it's based on a pattern. Remember, this pattern is living and breathing. It's the collective action of the market, price action. And these patterns predict what's going to happen next if you know what pattern to look for. And again, I'm going to show you this stuff, but this is super important. If you can dance with the market, you learn how to let the market lead, and you're instead of saying, oh, I'm trying to get $500 a day. Do you think the market cares what you want? It doesn't. How about this? I'm trying to hit my target goal, take my money, and empower myself to quit trading so I can go enjoy myself like the backpack trader would do. We'll get there. But that's what the power is of number 3, learning how to dance with the market. All right, so I'm showing you this because you can see the trade on the left here. That's a long trade, and it was rather small, and the target was rather accurate. And then there's a short trade that's larger, and the target's rather accurate too, because it's identifying patterns where the likelihood is predictable with a high degree of accuracy. Okay, so there's another one. It's a short trade. This one was 26 cents. Look how accurate that target was. The goal was to go to target 2. Now, this only made $260 a contract. If you're someone who has to make $500, but you can only afford the one contract and you hit your goals, maybe you're going to keep trading, and then the random distribution is going to come out, bite you in the butt, and you're going to give your money back instead of taking your money and just walking away and come back tomorrow and do the same thing again. Eventually, you're going to give yourself a raise as you grow your account. We're going to get to that. You just add more position size. You don't have to trade more to make more money. That's the point. You learn how to dance with the market, and that takes me to the power of lifestyle. For me, I want to spend as little time as possible in front of my charts. I'm old, been doing this a long time. I don't want my eyes looking more and more like corkscrews, right? look like, I've been accused of looking like Marty Feldman, calling the live trade room with 8 monitors. That's bad enough. No, it's too hard. Why, who wants to work that hard? You know how much time I spent trading today? 15 seconds. Why? I hit a target, a trade that was already in play. I moved to stop, and then I quickly turned everything off and ran to this place where I had to set up so that I could do this presentation for you guys. But even if I wasn't going to do that, that's perfect trading. As little time as possible, because of the power of lifestyle, right? For me, I want to trade to give myself the lifestyle I want. So I trade very little, but I make the most of it. All right. I'm not greedy. I don't need to make every pip and tick out of the market. I just need my trade plan to win more often than it loses. That's enough. You can achieve your dreams with that. So the 2% rule, what is that? All right, we've all heard of the trading stool. There's 3 legs in the trading stool, right? There's your trade methodology or strategy. There's your money management and your trader psychology, which is super important. I try to address all of these, but if you take one of those legs away, the stool topples over. So you need all 3. And you also need a strong foundation to put the stool on, right? That's your proof, by the way, just so you know. When you prove it to yourself, you've just made a foundation to put your stool on. But the 2% rule has to do with money management. And it simply says that you only risk 2% of your account at the max. Noah, thank you. Noah, just type that in. Noah, I'm going to give you the mic. I'm going to let you finish the presentation. Noah's probably heard me say this 100 times, or he's heard other people say it. Words of wisdom. You don't need to risk more than 2%, because think about this. Understand the ramp. Do you guys know what I mean by the ramp? I want you to only look at the left side of this green wall, okay? The left side. This is a trade plan and a bunch of trades. And what this is, this diagram represents a histogram of position sizes going on and off, on and off, on and off. As you grow your account, you keep putting 2% of your risk on your position size. Eventually, you're going to go up to a second contract. Eventually, then maybe twice as fast as the beginning, you get to the third. Maybe you go down to 2 again, then up to 3, et cetera, et cetera. The front end of the ramp is always the hardest part. Think of a jumbo jet running down the runway, trying to pick up steam, pick up speed to get elevation and lift off, right? And defeat gravity. As a beginning trader or anyone starting a new trade plan, you have to get that momentum to defeat gravity, the gravity of the value of your account. Think of your forest again, but this is another way of looking at it. It's the ramp. The ramp takes longer in the front, but as you get further and further into it, you start hitting the exponential curve, and the front end of your jumbo jet starts to resemble the nose of a rocket ship. That is the power of compounding. I've kind of combined a few things. I'm rushing through this, but did you know that if you can make $50 a day average net profit per contract, $50, what's that? 5 little pennies in crude oil, right? Seems easy, doesn't it? $50 average net profit per day per contract. If you start with a $20,000 account, you risk 2%. You can start paying yourself about $1,000 a month when you get a little bit up into the ramp here, right? And as you go further and further, you're going to start paying yourself more and more. And after 24 months, you can achieve a $10,000 a month income, and you'll have about $250,000 in your trading account. There's a formula to it. Those are the numbers. The power of the ramp, the power of 2%, dancing with the market. Trading less, not more. You getting the picture here? You guys understanding what I'm saying? That's why I'm spending a lot of time on these trading hacks, because it's so important. All right. So the last one, and this will make so much sense to you. I want you now to go back to the commitment you made when I first started. If you're ready to change your ways and become a successful trader. All right. Think about it. A lot of you said yes. I don't want you to be that person, whoever you are, trying to trade. I don't want you to be Ed trying to trade. I don't want you to be Sarah. I don't want you to be Aaron trying to trade, or Ralph or Noah. No, I want you to be the CEO of your trading business. Be the CEO of your trading business and make your decisions from that point of view, above the forest. If you're Ralph, the guy trying to trade, or Aaron, the gal trying to trade, or Kenneth, or whoever, then you're the little grunt running around the trees trying to avoid losing trades, trying to avoid getting crushed. And the irony is you'll get crushed. Be the CEO of your trading business. You lift yourself up above the forest and you make decisions from that point of view. Aaron's laughing and says, yes, thank you for your honesty. We've all been there. It's happened to me a million times. My early years, what hooked me on trading, even before this British pound trade, I made 12 grand in 3 weeks trading crude oil. This is when a discount broker commission was 50 bucks. 50 bucks. Now what is it? Pennies round turn. Anyway, 12 grand in 3 weeks. One day listening to some bad advice and not knowing what the hell I'm doing, to lose it all in one day. Imagine that. That put me right down into the trees. So we've all been there. I know that. I know the angst. All right. Let me tell you the techniques I'm using now. So first of all, learn how to take advantage of exhaustion. Muhammad Ali, rope-a-doping, covers up and waits till his opponent's exhausted, and then he comes out and stings like a bee, right? Floats like a butterfly, becomes the greatest fighter of all time. We're going to borrow from that concept. This is a chart. Any old chart, I don't care what it is. Buyers, sellers. See these dots up here on the top of these arrows? That tells us that the buyers are tired. If the buyers are tired, does that clue us in to start looking on the short side? The buyers are tired. I want to go where the power is, right? So yeah, it clues us in. Look over on the left. Arrows pointing up. That tells us the sellers are tired, okay? You also get, in a tug of war where both sides are catching their breath, little push and pull and push and pull, where both sides are kind of evenly, catching their breath and trying to see who's going to succumb to the other. All right. So you could visually see some congestion and consolidation. That's really helpful. All right. So that's one of the first things I use when I determine a trade setup. Second, there's this thing called the balance of power. What happened to it? Well, guess what? We're going to the quiz first. I'll show you the balance of power in a minute. First person tells me what this means is going to win a book. You guys ready? What's that mean? Yellow, blue, green. Do you go long? Do you go short or flat? First person, John Fleischer. John Fleischer, you put in the right answer first. It's long. Of course, it's long. John Fleischer, I want you to send me an email, troy@backpacktrader.com, and I will send you a copy of my book. troy@backpacktrader.com, John Fleischer. Congrats. All right, pay attention, guys. What's that mean? Long, short, or out? See some shorts, some outs. All right, guess what? I'm pranking you guys. This doesn't mean anything. I want to see who's paying attention. There are some right answers. I have to give you credit, but this is just a prank and no one wins. So if you said flat or nothing, then you win a spiritual pat on the back. How's that? Good job. Or you've seen this before. All right, what's this mean, guys? Long, short, out. Someone put in short, but it's going so fast I can't find it. Mary Jane. Mary Jane, you're the winner. Congratulations. Please send me an email, troy@backpacktrader.com. I'm going to send you a copy of my best-selling book, Day Trading Quick Start Guide. All right, guys, thanks for humoring me. I hope that you enjoyed that, but really what I want to do is get into the examples, and I'm going to run out of time really fast because I'm talking a lot. This is the balance line. This line here marks the balance of power between buyers and sellers. So when right down here, the sellers are exhausted and now you got green bars closing up above the balance line, doesn't that put that chart in a completely different context? Doesn't that give you a lot of information, like more than what most people have? Just those two simple concepts: who's tired and who's in charge. That's it. That's what these indicators give me. And it's based on pure price action. Guess what? I've been using this for like 10 years. It never stops working. It never goes out of fashion, and it works on everything. I mean, some things are better than others. You still got to prove it to yourself first, create a trade plan, all the things I said. But you start with this and you're way in front of everyone else. You're better off than 90% of the traders out there. All right, so let's look at some examples. Let me pull this up. I'm going to show you stuff, how I created the strategy. How about this? You guys okay with me like taking the thing apart and putting it back together and basically teaching it to you from the ground up? It'll only take a few minutes. That's how simple it is. You guys mind if I do that? And then I got a big surprise, because this strategy works on wealth charts and it works really well. And I've been developing new trade plans that I'm going to show you on wealth charts. All right. But first I want to show you how I created it. So here we go. Just like what I just showed you a moment ago. But the only difference is this is from today. This is from today's session leading into one of our mainstay trade plans. When we do this in the trade room, this trade plan has been working for years. This is crude oil futures, but it could be anything. I like showing it in crude oil futures because it trades really well and it works really well. And the trade plan typically hits its goals really quick and fast. And that's important to me, so I can get away from my computer and, go to Disney World, which is what I'm going to do probably when I'm done with this, because I'm in Orlando, Florida today. All right. So let me ask you guys something. Could anyone guess if this is going to go up or down? And then let me even ask you a bigger question, a more important question. Does it even matter? Like, does your guess matter? Everyone's going to say, oh, it's going to go up. Oh, it's going to go down. And you might be right. You might be wrong. And really, who cares? Because they're going to do one or the other anyway, right? The point is that at the right edge of the chart is where you have to make trading decisions, isn't it? You can't look back and go, oh, there's a great trade I would have took. How many of you do that? How many of you look at these great moves and just dream about, I could have taken that trade. My problems are solved, right? We all do that. Me today. Yeah. But you have to make your decision now at the right edge of the chart. Very hard to do. What happens though when you add our famous exhaustion dots? What's that tell us? Gosh, the market looks awfully noisy, doesn't it? But the buyers got tired. You got red bars coming down. What about when we add our balance line? Now we're starting to get some more context. At this point in time, we might start looking for shorts, right? And that would be a valid thing to be thinking about. Now, remember, we talk about trade plans. Trade plans have rules. This trade plan starts at 9 a.m. New York time, and it's literally 9 a.m. in 1 second. So this trade plan has just begun. Now, how do we take the rules of a strategy, though, and create trade setups? There's one more thing I want to show you. What we do is we stack up smart, confirming pieces of information that confirms our assumptions. We could assume buyers are tired. We could assume sellers are in charge. Now we have our start time. How do we get a setup? Well, there's another piece of information we use, and this is high trend chop indicator. This tells us what's happening on a fast trend, but on a slower chart. So think of a chart 5 times slower, but the fast trend. We're going to use this to help corroborate our trade assumptions. And then the final piece is price action itself. So what if we can take those concepts and come up with an indicator that will take those rules that we've tested already and proven will work, and then print a trade on the chart with the algorithm of the pattern that adjusts dynamically to the market condition to give you highly accurate targets. Would that be cool? Be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show it to you in today's crude oil session with the same plan. So I'm just going to click on this tab, and it's basically the same thing, but we're going to click forward and look what happens now. All of a sudden, well, there's no trade setup. And now look, market totally turned around. Sellers got tired. Buyers started taking charge on the long side of the balance line. And then the strategy identified a setup right there. I'd love to explain to you how and why this works. And that's part of the bonus that I'm giving you that I told you about it earlier. I'm going to do a half-day training and really get into the nitty-gritty of this. I also teach how it works inside of the training, but I'm going to get into some new ideas, new stuff. Okay, but here's the thing. You click on the bar. Now you have an entry. You have targets. You have a stop. You know how much to risk. The goal is to get to the first target. If you get to the first target, then you're going to move the stop to break even, +1 to cover commission. So here's the stop down here where the exhaustion dots are. If it can get to target 1, where is target 1? Well, it's off the chart, but I could scrunch this down to show you. Up here are our targets, right? The goal is to get to target 2. That's where we take our money if we're trading a single position. We're trading more than one position. We could take profit at target 3 also, and we could also trail. We could trail that balance line because the balance line is a great place to hide your stop behind. All right, so this happened today. So it comes up, takes a little heat. This is where you're sweating it out. This is where you have to surrender to what you cannot control. That's part of trading. But if you proved it to yourself first, you shouldn't care if the trade actually wins or loses, because tomorrow you have to take another trade. But the point is that you know it's going to win more than it loses, and it's going to grow your account regardless. That's the key, right? That's above the forest thinking. It does hit target 1. The stop comes up, locks in, and then it hits target 2. And if you're trading a single position, you're done. You're done with 33 cents of crude oil. That's $330 a contract. And if you're still trading an additional position, guess what? Look at that perfect target 3. How does it know to tune itself to that? 45 cents, $450. But there was more in this trade today, and that's where you can start trailing. So it came off a little, but then it zoomed up and up and up and up until it stopped out right there. And that trade, I'll just quickly point, I marked up this chart so I could show you what it came up, you know, what it was. So this is what that trade looked like, right? So the whole strategy took everything I just showed you and printed the trade on the chart. And if you did your homework and proved this trade plan to yourself, you'd have no problem taking the trade, because you'll know it's going to make you money if you just do it and trade it and follow the rules and dance with the market with this incredibly dynamic setup, and you'd be done with your very first trade. And who here has a problem? Oh yeah, okay, there's a good question. First of all, this is an 8-tick range bar or momentum bar. Okay, so every bar is 8 ticks. This works great on tick charts. I'll show you that in a moment. Works good on time-based charts, works good on a lot of charts. I prefer range bars with this trade plan. Okay, but I'm gonna show you some on wealth charts that are what I'm trading now that you're gonna love. Just let me get there. I'm almost there. All right, so I already forgot. Oh yeah. Does anyone have a problem with starting their morning at 9 in the morning? First trade comes a minute later, and now you're actually finished like almost 2 minutes later. Let's call it 9:03. Maybe the party you go to later this week, you're meeting someone and they're like, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I work for like 3 minutes. And then I go enjoy my life. Not bad, huh? That's the backpack trader style of day trading. What time zone? New York time. I always put the time on where the instrument is traded from. So this is off the NYMEX, New York Stock Exchange, or New York Mercantile Exchange, New York time. So there you go. 3-minute trade plan. Look, tomorrow it might take 20 minutes. Does anyone have a problem with that? Let's look at a couple more trade plans from today. I'm going to go really fast now so I can cover a little bit of everything. I forgot to ask you, do you like futures? Do you like Forex? Do you like equities and options? Type it in, because I'm going to use that to kind of know what to show you next. So one of my favorite markets is unleaded gas. It's very explosive. $4.20 a tick. It also starts at 9. Look what this one did. There's nothing new to learn. You see the tired sellers, you see the price action above the balance line, the trade prints on the chart, and it zooms up and it hits all these targets. You could go to target 1 with this one. That one was also done in 2 minutes. You know, it was just a coincidence. Someone likes the ES. Yeah, the ES is great. I'd rather trade the SPY, and I'll show you why. I just think the ES is harder than other markets, or easier in my opinion, but that's okay. You could scale the ES. The Russell E-mini, one of my favorites too. This one was literally done. I mean, everything I'm showing you were trade plans. They happened today and they were literally done in 2 minutes. I don't know why. It was just a coincidence. But what I want to show you is the dancing with the market and the dynamic adjusting. We're going to target 2, nothing new to learn. It triggered in, hit target 1, stop, moved up to break even. Did it hit a perfect target 2 or what? And then it came down and then it stopped out. And that was good for 4.7 points at $50 a point. You could trade this with the micros too now, right? But look at how that was tuned, how it danced with the price action. It's the pattern that has the high likely outcome, right? Doesn't mean you're guaranteed it's going to win. It's highly likely it's going to win. All right, we got a lot of people saying Forex, futures, equities. All right, so I showed you some futures, right? The NQ, I'll just show you this really quick because this is a bonus I'm throwing in the deal. It's called the trend mode indicator. You only go long when the line is blue. You only go short when the line is red. It's a 610 tick chart with the NQ. And here we are at 8:30 Central. That's 9:30 New York, but this is traded out of Chicago. And this one, you could go to target 1. You can go to target 1 or 2, but the larger targets. 33.5 points to target 1. It's a $670 trade, and then it stopped out. And that also lasted like a minute. You can't trade all these at the same time, but you could apply these same rules to a trade plan an hour later or 2 hours later. You could stagger and figure out the right mix of trade plans for you so that you can trade less, but you could also trade more just by duplicating a trade plan and doing it another way on another market. So you don't have to trade too much, but you can get the right mix. So I like to pepper in. My trading these days are mostly swing trading, and I'm just going to show you this powers my Forex alert service. So I have a Forex alert service, and we send out the trades. I use this strategy to indicate those trades, and I just want to quickly show you. This is one of the best pairs you could trade, the Aussie yen. This is going back, well, last year. And this trade made, I don't know, a lot of pips, over 1,000, right? And notice how each trade is so, this one just missed. Look at how accurate these targets are. And it's a completely different market, right? But I'm not teaching you anything new. Look at that. It's just because of its price action. Okay, someone asking me if I have a scanner for this. Rob and I have been talking about creating one, so I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no, but what I am going to say is right now, you don't need one, because with this strategy, you just get a trade plan and you trade it the same way every time, same start time, same way to trade. And this chart takes me, 5 seconds to look at? It's a daily chart. I just look at it. My eyeball is my scanner. I'm not trying to look for a bunch of symbols that I haven't proven, not with this method. That to me is too much work. Now, I'm not saying other methods you shouldn't do that. Of course you should. This method, we don't need to. I'm just going to show you one more Forex pair because this is another one super accurate, as you can see. But I think what I'm going to do now, look at this. Look how it got to that little small trade there. All right, what I want to do is show you on wealth charts some equities, because this is literally my favorite way of trading, and I want you to see it while I still have some time, because I got to get to the close. I got to show you how you can get involved too, and I'm running out of time here. Let me just grab this. I'm really excited about this. This is the same strategy. Someone asked to show the Qs, and I'll show you the SPY. Let's start with the Qs. So I do this method in my retirement account, and I literally only have to spend a few minutes a week. Why? Because these are weekly charts, and it works amazing on weekly charts. How amazing? This plan here, of course, I make all my trade plans available to my members, has a 10-year look back, back tested 10 years, and it's literally won 97.6% of its trades. I know it sounds too good to be true. Past performance doesn't mean anything going forward. But when I look at this and then another one and another one, another symbol, and they're all giving me the same type of results, what do you think I'm going to do when the next trade shows up? You think I'm going to take it? Damn right I'm going to take it. Take a look at this. That was the Qs. Let's look at the SPY. 91% over 10 years. It's making $14.70 per share, average net profit, average. All wins and losses, that's your average. $14.70 per share per trade. Now, imagine putting a slightly in the money put or call option on these setups, right? You get a short trade right here. We could open up the data window and take a peek. Data window. We click on this. You got the whole trade, your stop, your entry, your targets. If you know your entries at 434.6, could you buy a slightly in the money call option? And when the price hits the entry, you buy the call option, or several if you could afford it, 2%. Don't forget that. You know where your stop is. If it comes back up and hits a stop, you're going to sell your option and recover some of your premium. You'll take a loss, but you also recover some of your money back. If it goes down, you could sell your option when it hits the target. You could even have it all done automatically with conditional orders. That's how I do it. So this would have made $38.68 per share. The option would have made double or triple percentage gains, just like that. Is there a simpler way to trade? Is that backpack trader style once a week? Do you need a scanner? I mean, I guess you could use one if you could figure out how to. I mean, I'm going to talk to Rob about that, and it'd be wonderful to have something like that. But I have my roster of stocks already. I've already proven each one. All I have to do is look at it a few minutes a week. The trade's there, it isn't, guys. There it is. I don't have to overthink it, right? I'm the backpack trader. I don't want to work harder. I want to work easier and get away and go have fun and let my trading do the heavy lifting. John says, how far out in time do you typically buy your options? Well, on these charts, I'm going to go as far out as possible. But on a daily chart, let's just quickly look at this one. Here's Apple. Apple is long, just getting long right here. In fact, it'll probably come down and give you a chance to get into it again. The daily chart. So I'm going to look at the average length of a trade and then probably triple that. And then that's where I'll get my option. And I don't care. I want to pay more for more time, because I know if I lose, I'll sell the option back and get more premium. You see, so I don't mind paying more for an option further out, because I'm still going to get double and triple percentage gains. And I don't claim to be very sophisticated as an options trader. I'm not. I'm like, all I know is where to get long, buy a slightly money call, and get a lot of time on it. That's it. I'm not going to overthink it. No reason. You guys, I'd love to show you more. Can I show you how I can get you guys started with this for like literally the cost of 1 or 2 winning trades? You guys want to know how you can get involved with this? Could I do that? Because I'm going to run out of time here any second. I could feel the cane coming and hooking my neck and yanking me off the stage any moment. So let me get back to the presentation really quick, okay? Hopefully my talking as much as I did helped you guys. So exhaustion, etc. One of the trade plans has been winning over 80% for like 15 years, back testing and going forward. Okay, it's a 4-hour swing trade chart. That's part of the alert service that I offer. That's not what this is. but it's part of Counterpunch Express 2. If you haven't figured out what this is the CPX2. We use it for the crude oil inventory report once a week. You could do it with so many things. I do that in the trade room. You can come join me in there. Got tons of testimonials. I wish I could show them all to you. This was last year. I had over 300 of them dating back to 2011. And I just kind of pulled a snapshot of my inbox. This is, look at that, 2019. He's using it for swing trading and natural gas. Scott goes back to 2016. Simply amazed. Best thing he's noticed is 100% increase in his daily results per contract, blah, blah, blah. He's amazed. Anyway, I don't have to read this to you. Do I? You could see the replay if you want. I'll send you more if you want to see them. So look what we've learned today, that you got to prove it to yourself first, right? Because we don't know shit on the right edge of the chart. They bleep me out. We don't know bleep. No, we don't know shit. Nobody does. That's not what trading is. Trading is not knowing, right? That's why it makes you nervous. But hopefully you learn to rise above the forest and prove it to yourself first. And that'll solve a lot of problems for you. Learn how to dance with the market, 2%, work the ramp, let the ramp do the heavy lifting, trade less to make more. I think I just proved to you 2 minutes. 2 minutes is what these day trade plans took. 2 minutes. Seconds a week is what those swing trades took, right? You can do other time frames too, but you don't need to trade more to make more. But you can by just adding more trade plans. You kind of can have your cake and eat it too. Be the CEO, guys. Don't just be that person trying to trade. All right. So look, a complete method. You get everything. You get all the indicators. You get everything I showed you. Works on most markets: equities, options, Forex, futures, day trading, swing trading. Put it on a Bitcoin futures market. You would have known not to be buying Bitcoin while it's been going down, down, down. You would have known that. Would have shown you a bunch of short trades. Newly upgraded. You notice the trade tracking. It knew when you were in a trade. It knew when to move the stop. It knew how to track the stop, right? That helps you. That helps you when you're trading. Make decisions in real time. It can do that. You could also flip on additional supplemental trades. I didn't even show you that. You may get to that point. You could use them. I use them sometimes. Has a control panel that gives you all the mission critical information at a glance. You know your trade. It's been planned. All you have to do is trade the plan, your entry, your targets, your stop, your risk, your reward, all that great information right there at a glance. You get the high trend chop filter that gives you the fast trend on the slower chart, right? You can get a lot of information on that. One of the setups needs that. It's built into the calculator. It does all the work for you. You don't even have to look at it if you don't want to, but you can. And some great filter ideas, some things that will keep you out of trades, including the bonus that I told you about, the trend mode indicator, where you only go long when it's blue, you only go short when it's red. That's a $197 indicator. I'm throwing that in as a bonus, a Wealth 365 bonus. Okay. And of course, you get the proven and reliable strategies that have been working for years, done for you. But I also teach you how to chase down your own ideas to create your own trade plans, because then you could prove it and you'll believe in it. So you get all the indicators. And by the way, it comes with a multi-platform bonus, which I'll show you in a moment. But this works. Of course, we know it works on wealth charts, but it works on TradeStation, NinjaTrader, MT4, Thinkorswim, and of course, wealth charts. You get all the nuts to bolts, training and support materials, the trend mode indicators, done for you trade plans. And it should be a lot of money, but I'm only charging you $797. That's it. And that's the link. backpacktrader.com/wealth. That's it. Is it included for lifetime? Great question, Glenn. This is a one-time cost. You own it for life, but it comes with more. Let me tell you what else it comes with. Not only do you get all the custom indicators, the videos, the trend mode indicator, the bonus I told you in the done for you trade plans, but it also, you get my trade room. You can join me in the trade room and learn this live. I've been doing a trade room for 18 years. We do it Monday through Thursdays. I got one of my best students who hosts it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I do it on Mondays and Wednesdays. All right. You can do the crude oil report with us. You get that. All right. You're going to learn how to use this the proper way. That's one of the crude oil reports that we did. I showed you a bunch of great wealth charts examples. There's a lot of, there's a community that you're a part of too. We've got a lot of active traders, and it's amazing what you learn from your fellow traders. That's like one of the unsung and understated benefits. But you get to become a part of our trade hacking club on our Discord server. And that's fantastic. You'll love it. You also get the ultimate trade analyzer. Some of you already typed in, how could you buy one? I don't sell it. I give it to you. Okay. It's so important that I want you to have it. All my members of all my strategies get this tool and the training on how to use it. That itself is worth the $7.97, just this, and you get it for free because I want you to succeed. And this is the most important thing you can do to prove to yourself a trade plan is going to grow your forest. You get it, no extra charge. This is the forest, guys. I want you to start from the left corner and end up on the right corner. Everything is just $7.97. That's it. 1 or 2 winning trades. You own it for life. So again, so you can see at a glance, everything you get. You also get a multi-computer license, so you could use it not only on your desktop, but you could use it on your laptop. You could use it at work. Okay, I'm not going to get in the way of your success. I want you to succeed. All access to my trade room. I told you about all that stuff. How about the last bonus? I told you at the beginning, I threw something in that I'm super excited about. I'm planning a half-day training. It's called, guess what it's called, guys? Backpack Trader Live. Why do you think it's called Backpack Trader Live? Because I want you to become your own best version of the backpack trader. I want you to learn how to trade to give you the lifestyle that you want. I'm going to show you how I do it.
All right,
That
Troy,
fair?
I'm going to have to get you wrapped up. I wanted
I'm
to make
done.
sure you
That
got
was it.
everything in there.
Thank you, Marissa. I appreciate that. I know I went a few minutes over. You guys, I
Yeah.
hope you enjoyed it. Marissa, thank you so much. Rob, thank you. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you again.